Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. This is the sixth installment of my divestment from the Democrat Party for Black African Americans. We need to leave this party behind in droves in order to become independent thinkers and look at a way for us to bring our political clout to bear with parties and all the folks in power actually having a true competition for our votes. Now, this is a tale of two black mayors, and there's been plenty of black mayors over the years. You got to give black people props for starting to get into certain positions. But to what benefit have these men, or women for that matter, been for us other than having black faces in high places? So before we go into it, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make some comments. We can have a discussion on this because this is a tale of two black mayors in the current climate of migrant. I was going to use the word infants that you know, impinging or encroaching on our communities, especially the black and brown and poor white communities where they're being housed and being funded and being subsidized, where the people have been clamoring for government funds for years. So this is a tale of two mayors, one both black, both pro sanctuary city, one from Chicago who's doubling down on stabbing his constituents in their back and giving the limited resources that could possibly go to them to migrants from wherever the hell they're coming from, Venezuela, wherever, and leaving his own people behind. And another mayor from New York who felt the same way until he realized that it's going to destroy the fabric of his city, and he started talking against him. And one mayor is being praised for being a good boy, and the other mayor is being punished for being a good boy going bad. So let's talk about it a little bit. I got a couple of videos. The one from Chicago is a double downer. And I'm going to just show you his video on him telling everybody, stick it in your ass. I'm going to make sure I take care of migrants from other countries over you. Here we go. We're going to share this. Uh, and we'll see. And you can see for yourself. Let's go.
Go home tonight, arriving in the city by bus today. We have team coverage tonight, live from a border city where those buses start their journey. But we begin with CBS 2's Maribel Gonzalez, taking our questions about how the city will handle the recent influx of asylum seekers right to Mayor Brandon Johnson. Maribel?
Yeah, Joe, here in our newsroom, we've been keeping track of those numbers. We know that since last August, more than 15,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago, more of them coming in tonight just hours ago. And with aid and shelter running thin, we asked Mayor Brandon Johnson if the city of Chicago would continue to be a safe haven. Following a near record day of bus arrivals, more of them chartered into the city. Late Wednesday night, we were there as adults and small children stepped off a bus and were greeted with blankets. Volunteers helping them say they're doing so with limited resources.
We cannot afford to accommodate this.
And some residents are calling for the city to put more funding.
There's a black woman talking about, hey, listen, we can't handle this. And they've been, before the migrant crisis, these same communities were looking for the dollars that they could never get. But all of a sudden, the dollars, almost 51 million a month, is available now for migrants.
Into their communities instead.
Southside has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. And it's disrespectful to the community.
We took these concerns to Mayor Brandon Johnson. We've seen police stations saturated, volunteers stretched thin. With all of that said, will Chicago continue to be a welcoming sanctuary city?
Yes. Look, during difficult times, sometimes there are individuals who feel the pressure, and sometimes our values are called into question. We're the city of Chicago, and this mission that the
You see, enough of the bullshit. He's talking about feeling the pressure. What pressure does he feel? They put him in high place because he has a black face. And as far as the constituents in Chicago, the black ones at least, he's slapping the shit out of them. And he act like he's really making a sacrifice. He's not living in these communities. He's making a decision so he could be a good boy for his master. Okay. And if he really believes this, as a black person who lives in the poorest sections of the community, seeing people come from a different country, getting supplies, getting love, getting shelter, getting education, getting all these things that you have to cry for, you can't get for decades. This is a slap in the face. And I don't see how it could be otherwise. If you black people continue to vote for people because they look like you, this is going to continue to happen. So that's enough of this one. All right, you don't need to know no more. He already made his bed. He's doubling down. He doesn't care that his people are being crushed. So here's the mayor of Chicago. We know where he's coming from. So let's get over to the mayor of New York. Mayor of New York was similar, right? At some point, he was just like, his other guy. All right, where's he at? Here we go. And here's where
20 months.
he went wrong.
And then what happened? Started with a madman down in Texas, decided he wanted to bus people up to New York City. 110,000 migrants. We have to feed, clothe, house, educate the children, wash their laundry sheets, give them everything they need, health care. And this team here, we stated, let's do everything possible before we have to push it out into neighborhoods and communities. Month after month, I stood up and I said, this is going to come to a neighborhood near you. Well, we're here. We're here. We're getting no support on this national crisis, and we're receiving no support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
Let me stop that right there. He doesn't have to go any further. Those words said that he's no longer willing to be just a good, silent boy taking his medicine from the Biden administration. He knew he was all for it until he started to see the reality sink in that he's going to destroy the people who put him in office. That this migrant crisis, the people who are going to pay the most are the people who have the least. The people who are going to pay the most are the people who have the least. And he dared, unlike his brother from Chicago, speak out. And this is how he's going to get repaid. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about how he's going to get repaid for his arrogance, for his rebellion, right? They're going to come after him. There you go.
FBI's raid last week at his chief fundraiser's home.
Federal investigators looking into whether the mayor's campaign received illegal foreign donations. Fox 5's Antoine Lewis joins us live in studio with what the mayor had to say today. Antoine.
A lot of tough questions, Stephen. Natasha, good evening. The mayor was direct, insistent that no one on his staff broke any rules. He also gave more insight into why he returned to New York last week so abruptly.
She outraised every other fundraiser that was in the race. She worked hard. She learned.
Mayor Eric Adams on his top fundraiser, Breonna Suggs.
Last week, FBI agents raided the home of Suggs. According to the search warrant, the FBI is investigating whether the Adams 2021 mayoral campaign conspired with the KSK Construction Company of Brooklyn to funnel foreign money into the campaign by way of a straw donor scheme. And while agents left with several boxes, the mayor, confident and insistent that no wrongdoing has occurred, by way of a directive that's been in place since before day one.
And what I stated, we must always follow the rules because we knew that our campaign will always be scrutinized. And so we wanted to make sure we were above reproach.
Adams was in the nation's capital as part of a coalition of U.S. mayors to meet with White House officials about the migrant crisis when notified of the raid. He says his decision to skip the meeting and return to New York was twofold.
There was a professional part of maintaining, my staff and my city. But I think sometimes we miss the fact that there's a human part to life. As a human being, I was concerned about a young 25-year-old staffer that went through a traumatic experience.
So
let me stop it right there. Notice he was in Washington about the migrants. He was going to be showing to Joe Biden and those guys from DC that he can no longer be just a good boy while they put hundreds of thousands of migrants in New York City at a cost of $300 per family per day, right? And this is how they repay him. Now, this is a shot across the bow. Be a good boy, or we're going to start peeling back the onion until we find something and get rid of you and replace you with another good boy, right? Or put you in jail or whatever we have to do, but shut your damn mouth. Shut your mouth. Take this medicine like a good boy or else. So that's a shot of so this is the tale of two black mayors. One who's going to continue to be a good boy and one who dared to speak out. And this is how he's getting repaid. Black folks, this is real politics. This is checkers. This is not checkers. This is chess. And the Democrat Party is at the helm of all of this stuff. We got to look at how we vote. I'm not saying you got to vote for Republican. I'm saying that we have to exercise our votes where it's best for us, whether we stay away from the polls, which is all right, whether we write people in, which is all right, or whether we get a coalition of people across the spectrum, Black, white, Latino, Asian, who are sick of the two-party system. And we, even if we have to give up a few elections, find a third party that is for the middle class, is for the people, who is not beholden to the corporations and to special interests that are going to destroy us all. So I'm not going to, I'm not a big political guy, but, we're all from the streets. We should know when we're being finessed, when we're being used, and when this is just bullshit, right? So anyway, our pain, marriage, this is my political thing, and sports. Over and out.